12 Quirky UK Habits Americans Find Confusing. The United Kingdom is full of fascinating quirks that make daily life feel unique, even to those who share its language. While Americans and Brits may both speak English, their habits often feel like two different worlds. From unusual food traditions to social rituals that don't exist across the Atlantic, these cultural customs often leave American visitors amused or just baffled. Let's take a closer look at 12 quirky UK habits Americans find confusing and uncover why these peculiar traditions continue to thrive in modern British life. 12 Full English breakfasts that could feed a village. When Americans think of breakfast, they picture pancakes with syrup, bacon, or perhaps a quick bagel on the way to work. But in the UK, breakfast is serious business. The full English breakfast, sometimes called a fry-up, is practically a cultural institution. It's not just eggs and bacon. A traditional plate includes fried eggs, sausages, rashers of bacon, baked beans, grilled tomatoes, mushrooms, black pudding, a type of blood, sausage, toast, and sometimes even fried bread. To Americans, it looks more like lunch or dinner than a morning meal. The portion size alone is astonishing, and many visitors are left wondering how Brits can handle such a feast before noon. Yet, in Britain, the full English is less about everyday eating and more about tradition. It's often reserved for weekends, served in pubs, or used as the ultimate cure for a night out. For Brits, it's comforting, hearty, and proudly symbolic of home cooking. For Americans, it's quirky, fascinating, and maybe even a little intimidating. 11. Obsession with the royal family. In the United States, people follow celebrities. In Britain, people follow royalty. The royal family, from the late Queen Elizabeth II to King Charles III and the younger royals, remains deeply woven into the nation's identity. Americans often ask, why? After all, the monarchy has no real political power. Yet the British royal family is far more than a ceremonial symbol. It represents tradition, continuity, and a living link to history. Major royal events, such as weddings or jubilees, bring out street parties, bunting, and nationwide celebrations. Americans, who declared independence from monarchy centuries ago, can find the public fascination both confusing and oddly charming. To Brits, following the royals is almost second nature. Newspapers and magazines dedicate daily coverage to royal news, and discussions about who's in the line of succession or who wore what outfit can dominate headlines. Americans visiting Britain often find themselves caught between awe at the pageantry and bewilderment at the devotion. 10. A national love affair with tea. If there's one thing that defines British life, it's tea. In America, coffee dominates the morning routine, but in the UK, tea is a cultural glue. The question, "Fancy a cuppa?" isn't just an offer of a drink, it's an invitation to pause, chat, and connect. The ritual of the tea break is sacred in Britain. Offices stop mid-morning and mid-afternoon, so colleagues can gather with mugs in hand. Builders pause on construction sites for their builder's tea, strong, sweet, and served with plenty of milk. Tea is offered in every situation, after bad news, before important conversations, or simply as a way to fill silence. For Americans, who see hot drinks mostly as fuel for productivity, the idea of stopping work just to sip tea can feel strange. But in Britain, tea isn't just a drink, it's a cultural lifeline. 9. Queuing like it's a religion. Americans stand in line. Brits queue, and they do it with astonishing discipline. In Britain, queues form naturally and almost silently. At bus stops, outside shops, even when there's no official line, people just know how to queue. Jumping the queue is seen as a grave social sin, often earning icy glares or passive-aggressive comments. Americans respect order, but the British devotion to queuing feels almost like a national religion. This habit stems from wartime Britain, when rationing required strict fairness and organization. Over decades, it became part of British identity. Americans visiting the UK often marvel at how calmly and quietly Brits line up for everything from a sandwich shop to Wimbledon tickets. 8. Rounds at the pub. The British pub is the heart of many communities, but its customs can confuse Americans, especially the tradition of buying rounds. Here's how it works. One person in a group buys drinks for everyone, and then the next person takes a turn. It's based on fairness, trust, and unspoken rules. For Americans used to paying individually or splitting checks, this feels risky. What if someone orders something pricey? What if you don't drink as much as others? But for Brits, skipping your turn or failing to contribute is unthinkable. The round system is about friendship and solidarity, not just money. To Americans, it's a quirky system that requires adjustment. But once understood, it feels like a brilliant way to build camaraderie. 7. Talking about the weather, like it's breaking news. In America, small talk often centers around sports, politics, or weekend plans. In Britain, small talk almost always begins with, "Lovely day, isn't it?" Brits are obsessed with the weather. Rain, drizzle, sunshine, fog, it doesn't matter. Weather talk is the safest conversational ground, avoiding politics or controversy. But there's more to it. Britain's weather is famously unpredictable. Sunshine in the morning can turn into a downpour by afternoon, so commenting on the weather isn't just filler, it's genuinely relevant. To Americans, who may live in states with consistent climates, this constant weather chatter can seem unnecessary. But in Britain, where even forecasters can't always predict what's coming, the weather remains endlessly fascinating. 6. Sunday roasts and Yorkshire pudding. If you're in Britain on a Sunday, you'll notice pubs advertising their Sunday roast. It's more than just a meal, it's a weekly ritual. A traditional roast includes meat, beef, lamb, chicken, or pork, roast potatoes, vegetables, stuffing, gravy, and of course, Yorkshire pudding. Americans are often puzzled by the pudding, which isn't sweet at all but a savory baked batter that soaks up gravy. For Brits, the Sunday roast is about more than food. It's about gathering family, slowing down, and marking the end of the week. To Americans, it feels like Thanksgiving every Sunday, a feast that seems too elaborate for a weekly tradition. But for Brits, it's part of their cultural rhythm. 5. Calling the bathroom the loo, or WC. If you ask for the restroom in Britain, you may get a blank stare. Brits say loo, toilet, or WC, water closet. To Americans, toilet feels blunt, even impolite. In Britain, it's completely normal. The word loo is more casual, and WC pops up on older signs. To Americans, these terms sound quaint or outdated, but in Britain, they're everyday language. It's a small linguistic difference that highlights the bigger cultural quirks between the US and UK. Two countries separated not just by the Atlantic, but also by bathroom terminology. 4. Dry, sarcastic humor. British humor is often subtle, sarcastic, and self-deprecating. Americans used to loud punchlines and clear jokes sometimes miss the point entirely. If a Brit says, "not bad," it often means excellent. If they quip, "could be worse," it might mean things are actually fine. Humor is often layered in irony, understatement, and wit. To Americans, this can be confusing, sometimes even mistaken for rudeness. But once you adjust to it, British humor becomes one of the nation's most delightful quirks. It's the reason so many British sitcoms and comedians stand out for their unique style. 3. Bank holidays and strange closures. In America, shops and restaurants rarely close, even on public holidays. In Britain, bank holidays are taken seriously. On these national holidays, Many businesses shut down, public transport slows, and families head for the countryside or seaside. Even Sundays feel different, with shorter shop hours and quieter streets. Americans, used to 24/7 convenience, can be caught off guard. To Brits, these closures are simply tradition, reminders that life isn't all about work. To Americans, they're quirky interruptions that take getting used to. 2. Driving on the left side of the road. For Americans, driving in Britain feels like entering another universe. Cars are on the left, steering wheels on the right, and roundabouts replace stop signs. Crossing the street becomes a test of nerves. Look right first, not left. The left side system dates back centuries, originally linked to horse riders keeping their sword hand free. For Brits, it's completely natural. For Americans, it's one of the quirkiest and most nerve-wracking parts of visiting. 1. Loving Marmite, or pretending to. Nothing defines quirky British food more than Marmite. This salty, yeast-based spread is smeared on toast or crackers and has a reputation. You either love it or hate it. Americans trying Marmite for the first time are often horrified by its strong, savory flavor. Yet many Brits adore it, swearing it's comfort food. Even advertising campaigns embrace its divisiveness with the slogan, "Love it or hate it." For Americans, Marmite is a mystery. For Brits, it's a national treasure, or at least a national talking point. From tea breaks and Sunday roasts to queuing like it's sacred, the UK is packed with habits that feel baffling to outsiders. For Americans, these quirks may seem confusing, but they reveal the character of Britain itself: charming, unique, and endlessly fascinating. That's the beauty of quirky UK culture. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.